than the length. The area of the rectangle is 88. What is the length? Okay? Anytime you have a word problem, anytime or every time you have a word problem, draw a picture of what you're talking about, no matter how ridiculous it is. It's a rectangle? All right. Draw the rectangle. All right. What do we have on the rectangle? We got the width of the rectangle, and the width is 3 less than the length. So the width here is 3 less than the length. So let's call the length L and the width W. Okay? The length is L. To get the width, we got to take the length and we got to subtract 3 because the width is 3 less than the length. So the width is the length. Oh, the width is the length. Make sure. The width is the length minus 3. Okay? The width is the length minus 3. The other thing that it talks about is the area. Well, how do we calculate the area of a rectangle? Area is equal to the length times the width. Well, we know that the area is 88. So in this triangle, 88, this rectangle, 88 equals the length, which we call L, times the width, but the width we can write as L minus 3. Use substitution. Anytime you use substitution, use it with parentheses, okay? All right, so that's what we're going to work with. We're going to work with the 88 equals, and now let's distribute. L times L is L squared minus 3L. Now this thing is a quadratic. We know it's a quadratic because it's L squared. L squared is the highest power of L. All right, so what do we need to do? We need to get 0 on one side. So let's subtract this 88. All right, let's subtract the 88. And we get 0 equals L squared minus 3L minus 88. Okay. And now we got to factor this thing. In order to factor it, we need two numbers that multiply to negative 88 and add to negative 3. We need two numbers that multiply to negative 88 that add to negative 3, okay? So we get 1 and 88. The bigger one has to be negative so that when we add the two, we get a negative number. That's 87. Well, that's not it, okay? What else do we have? Boy, it's divisible by 2. There's a long list, but that's okay. I'm going to go through it. It's good practice. You should also be practicing this. I have tons of practice. I have too much practice, all right? But that's okay. Makes me good at it. Let's make sure you guys practice. Write them all out. The next one's 8. Is it 6? 6 doesn't work because it's not divisible by 3. So 8 is the next one. 8 and negative 11. 8 and negative 11 is negative 3. We found the pair of numbers, all right? We found the pair of numbers. All right? And we're going to use the shortcut. Why are we allowed to use the shortcut? Because L squared is all by itself. This one's just going to be x plus 8, x minus 11 equals 0. Equals 0. All right? And I changed them to x's. Really, I need to make sure that those are L's. But of course, I'm not going to be picky. A variable is a variable. It doesn't matter if you call it x or L or p or pi. Well, don't call it pi because that's a irrational number, but that's okay. So now set each one equal to 0. Either L plus 8 equals 0. I'm going to write out nice. L plus 8 equals 0. Or L minus 11 equals 0. Okay, then I'm going to subtract 8 on both sides. So L is negative 8. All right, or I'm going to add 11 on both sides. So L is 11. We get two possible answers. All right. However, We're talking about a real thing here. We're talking about a rectangle. The length of a rectangle cannot be negative, okay? A length is always a positive amount. A length is always positive. Distance is always positive, okay? So it cannot be -8. Our only answer here is 11. So the length is 11. And what does that make the width? The width has to be 11 minus 3, which is 8. And 8 times 11 is 88. Okay? That's how it works out. The question asks for the length, so write your answer as 11. Write your answer as 11.